James Harris is the Jackie Robinson of pro football. So why doesn't everybody know that already? Well, Jackie Robinson was the first African-American baseball player of any kind, so it was very clear when, how, and by whom the color line got broken in pro baseball. It's a little bit more complicated in pro football because you start getting black players playing in the NFL in the late 1940s, and that number gradually increases over the succeeding decades. But there was always a view that blacks were good, quote, natural athletes, but that they weren't smart enough to play certain positions. The last three positions to be integrated in pro football were center, middle linebacker, and quarterback. James Harris was the first quarterback to stick, to be the regular season starter, and to compile all kinds of firsts, starting his first game as a rookie, first black quarterback to lead the league in passing efficiency, which he did with the LA Rams, first black quarterback to go to the NFC Championship game. For the period from 1969 to 1977, he was the only black to be starting quarterback in the league. So he really proved by himself in a very brave and lonely way that blacks could be quarterbacks. James Harris had really significant obstacles to overcome. The first one was that his track record in college was going to be largely ignored by many pro teams. For instance, statistically speaking and in terms of skill, he was clearly one of the best quarterbacks coming out of college after 1968, which was his senior year. But he didn't get invited to any of the important showcase games after the season, so James Harris never had the chance to show everything he could do in front of scouts. The second obstacle is that he wasn't drafted until the 8th round, which is preposterous, again based on his college track record, but because he had made it known and Eddie Robinson, his coach, had made it known that Harris was not willing to change positions, he was in effect punished with a low-round selection in the NFL draft. And the last obstacle is that, very much like Jackie Robinson, a barrier-breaking black athlete like James Harris was going to have to withstand an incredible amount of race hate. In doing this book, I looked with James Harris at some of the hate mail that he received through his career, and it's absolutely vile. You know, it's hard to think of an obvious comparison to James Harris today because there can only be one person who's the first, and when he opened the door, when he battered down the door for black quarterbacks in the NFL, it meant that nobody was fortunately going to have to go through all the things he went through.